Okay, welcome guys to another Girls Night Talk. I'm gonna be talking today about L'Oreal and the founder of L'Oreal. Not only about him, but the whole company in general. Let's get back to business. At first, I'm gonna share the recipe of the week. If you're not interested, I have timestamps in the description box so you can check them out and pick any section you prefer the most. But let's get started. Let's go back to business. L'Oreal company. I guess it's kind of obvious that L'Oreal is a French company that was founded in. It's really hard to say when it was founded because let's get started with the founder. The founder was Eugene Schuller. So he was French, and at first he got his bachelor degree, and it's kind of compared to probably 2 years of college nowadays. Then he enrolled to a university that was like chemical university. Though he was a son of two pastry chefs, not even chefs but owners of pastry shop, he never planned, maybe I can't say it for sure, but he was planning on carry on as a researcher, like university researcher, but something happened that completely changed his life. Once upon a time, there was like a barber owner who came over and asked Eugene Schuller to help him out. So back then, at the beginning of 20th century, people didn't have a lot of options, like hair dye options. That's why one really clever man, he thought he would fix this problem by hiring some student or some researcher, chemistry researcher, because a lot of women, they suffered from scalp issues. When they dye their scalp had suffered from some, not injuries, but some allergy reactions, some other issues, dry skin. That was the main reason why he wanted to change it. I don't remember the name of the barber owner, but I do remember that he came over to our L'Oreal founder. He kind of offered him to work with him, to pair with him. It's going to be really challenging to find someone who's not going to steal your idea and who's not going to use it for their own purpose, as our Eugene Schuller did. He experimented actually a lot with his formula, and then in 1909 he presented the world his first hair dye that didn't hurt scalp, or at least didn't hurt that much. He was the owner, like the founder of a really, really long name company. I cannot reduplicate it because it's really long. So that was the reason why he actually renamed it after some really popular back then hairstyle that was called L'Oreal, Ariel or L'Oreal, whatever. And that's really interesting because L'Oreal company started as some hair product company and now it's everything. Also, Eugene Schuller, he was a great economist. So I don't know if he had any degree, but I do know that he invented this new technology. He didn't pay people hourly, he didn't pay them weekly, so he paid them for some products. If you manufacture at least like, I don't know, 10 products, then you get, for example, like 10 francs. If I'm mistaken, it was like francs back then. I don't remember the currency of that day. For example, like 10 products, 10 euros. 50 products, 50 euros. One of these early times when people started using this technique to pay their workers because it was cheaper. They were stimulated to get more products done in order to earn more money. And he was criticized for helping German army, especially when people thought that he had some business with the head of Nazi. It was like suspected that the head of this department, he was sending French Jews to working camps, to death camps. Eugene Schuller took part in a lot of conspiracy theories, and I would even say that people judge him for getting richer because he was involved in this war somehow, and his company flourished. Though I'm gonna mention that before World War II, I talked about some things that he didn't approve, like hourly payment. As well, he didn't approve 2 weeks holidays, paid 2 weeks holidays, and he didn't approve a 5-day work week. That is something that I can relate to because I can't work like 5 days a week, though I work 5 days a week, and that's like the worst thing in the world. I can't just like waking up in the morning 5 days a week. But though he didn't support this hourly pay thing and this paid vacation, it was really handy for him because people started going on vacations, and especially some beaches. He produced like maybe not the first, but probably the first ever sunscreen. People were obsessed with sunscreen. Eugene Schuller, he proved that he wasn't taking any participation in German army, and he actually had some proofs, some French Jews who worked for him, and he provided some shelter for them. That was the main reason how he could prove that he wasn't involved in all this kind of stuff with death camps. There were some, not even gossips, but he proved, Eugene Schuller, that he worked for resistance, secretly worked for resistance, and he actually invested money in this resistance. So it was like top secret mission, and when the war was over, he showed some proofs. In 1922, he gave birth, and not he, but his wife gave birth to their first and only daughter. Her name was Lillian, and at the age of 15, she started helping her parents, practically her father, in mixing some bottles, some formulas, placing some, names over some bottles. So she was like at the bottom. And it was like in 1922. So at the age of 15, that means it was like 1937. In 1957, her father died. The founder of the company died. That's why she was not only the only owner of this company, but she was the only child who had to inherit this business, like a huge company. And L'Oreal was huge back then, especially after war. After she was mixing some formulas and labeling some bottles, of course, she had to take over this company. And that's really interesting that in 1950, she married her husband, this Andrea, that was in the same corporation as her father, the one that the Resistance Corporation. Strangely enough, in 3 years, her father died, and the husband of Lillian was kind of like chief of this border, like director of border or something like that. At the age of 35, she gave birth to her another daughter. And the most interesting thing that the same year her dad died, she gave birth to her daughter. Coincidence? I don't think so. Again, because like this daughter, and her name was Frances, she was another girl that took over this business company. This is so interesting because when I was researching about Max Factor and his company, so like in the mid-century, all of the members of Max Factor family, they took off this board of ruling Max Factor company, and it was like the crisis moment when it almost was over for the company. Didn't have any member of the family. That's why I don't really think that is that successful nowadays. But L'Oreal, they carry on. So even they had only one daughter at a time, they actually managed to keep all the kids in the company. And actually that's really interesting, like the daughter of the founder, Lillian, she was in charge of this company till 1995. She had a seat in the board of directors, and until February 2012, she was the director of the board seat. But then she died because she was like old. She was in charge of this huge company till like really, really late period of her life, and she participated in all major decisions. And in February 2012, actually, one of her grandsons took over the company, which makes sense. And L'Oreal has expanded because of acquiring other companies. So L'Oreal has a lot of major companies as a group, like it's called L'Oreal Group. And under the supervision of L'Oreal, there are some companies as NYX and Vichy and some other really, really famous brands. And of course, today, nowadays, L'Oreal is really famous for investing in some other companies, but taking some percentages, or taking some amount of sales from them as well. And we move into my last but not least section that's called what to watch. I'm gonna suggest something spicy today because I'm into this new like Love is Blind series, and I really love it. I am judgmental sometimes, and I don't really understand how people experiment this way. But what I really like about the show is that people just can try, and if they don't like it, they always have a chance to quit. So there's like not that if you participate in this program, then you have to get married by the end of the month, or I don't know the terms, but they actually can quit anytime, and that's what I like about this show. Love is Blind is interesting. It's on Netflix now, and I love that people, they can talk to each other and not see each other, and sometimes we judge by the appearance. But another thing is that I have to be sexually attracted to the person that I'm talking to. I have some male friends, and I'm not attracted to them because, like, yeah, I feel some connection. We're at the same page, but we're not sexually connected. Not as I am with my husband. And I would say that actually at the age of 14, I met my husband. And it was almost 15. Okay, so I wasn't sexually attracted to him, but I just instantly fell in love. So in my opinion, that's a little bit weird when you try to talk to someone and not see someone, because yeah, you can be really close friends, you can be really good friends in the future, but like, are you going to be attracted to each other? That's the question. So what do you think, guys? I guess I'm not going to tell you all about the show, and I guess I'm going to see you next time. I love you guys. Have great weekends. Till my next time. Bye bye. Love you.